What is going on, guys? Jacobrdoty here, back from another vlog, and we're starting the process of the bags. I have my buddy John here, who is Fitted Racing.
Yo, what's up, guys?
He is going to help us out. Our main goal today is just to get the trunk done. We probably won't get into the suspension stuff, even though that pretty much is plug and play with a couple bolts. We just want to get everything done really clean. I have to take apart the interior and stuff like that. If you missed it in my last video, everything is going to be hidden under here. I need to take out this subwoofer, which is a pain. I have to even remove this because it just won't fit coming out. We're gonna try and knock out as much as we can today. It's pretty cold outside, and the fog and the smoke is all still really bad. So hope you guys up in Northern California by Chico are doing all right. So we have everything laid out here. We have Big Bertha, well, John's Big Bertha. Got some other DeWalt XRs. I definitely need to pick up some more. We are gonna have to pick up some supplies later on to do the trunk right. The first thing I'm gonna do is take out this subwoofer and go on from there. We have some yard work happening over there, but we have everything out. I took out the subwoofer, took out the little carpet. All it took was, 5 minutes with a friend's help. It does go in there really weird, but we got it out. This all will be sound deadened. I have sound deadener, so I'll stick that on. I'm actually waiting for the Amazon roller to come in right now, just so that way we can do it properly, but obviously we'll have to clean all this up before we can stick it on. I think what we're gonna do now is try to template out a little piece of cardboard and get a plate going here, so that way we can mount all the manifold and the compressor. Right here we have the manifold. It's just the 3P manifold. We have one of the compressors here. I will only be running one for now. And there we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. John's still dialing in this cardboard. He's gonna take off that little piece so that way he can get it nice and clean in there. This took all of 5 minutes. I pulled this little door sill plate where we'll run some of the wiring. Now I'm taking off this. I removed the rear seat, and now I have all the clips out right here. So now I'm just gonna go ahead, pry this up and pull it out. You guys should have seen that when I did the seat belts, but it's pretty much all the same thing. 3 little Christmas trees on here. Pull this up and remove the seat. So really simple. We're just gonna hide all the wiring and all the air lines through here, so that way you don't even know and we don't have to worry about them freezing. So quick update, we mocked everything up. We have the tank here, manifold there. John made this shape. It's a little rough right now, but we're gonna make that more refined as we get the wood. We also put the compressor on its side. You can just flip these little brackets, the feet right here. That way it'll be nice and flush. It'll fit under there a lot better. Cleaned up in here, just pretty much hit it with some spray detailer, vacuumed it up, got all the crap out of there. Really, I'm gonna be focusing on the walls right here on this part. Maybe at some point I'll get into these areas, which it's dark. There we go. Now you guys can see, I'll probably get into these areas at some other time and all of that. But for now, we're just gonna focus on this, which is where all of the compressor and tank and all that stuff will go. Huge shout out to Noiko. They sent out this stuff for me. They actually sent out 72 square feet. This stuff is kind of heavy. I think it's like 10 pounds per box. So definitely not light, but we probably will only use a couple of these sheets. This is 36 square feet in a box. Pretty good price on Amazon. I'll have the link down below. I also have the little roller, because this stuff, it has these little beads on it. When you roll it flat, you'll see that it'll kind of flatten out these if I actually give it some pressure. That's how you know it's stuck on there well. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. So as a quick before, this is what it sounds like. So just to give you a quick background of how it's gonna sound, and then we'll see what it sounds like once we layer it all in there. John's gonna go ahead and slice it down with a razor. Just go up and down, just cuts right through it pretty much. And this razor did just cut a bunch of cardboard, so easy. We're just cutting it in a bunch of pieces. This is 2 of the sheets. We just kind of cut them into 3 pieces each, and this is a rough layout of what we're doing. Obviously we'll have to fill in a little bit of the gaps and stuff, but we're gonna go ahead and knock this out and you'll see the finished product. So I just pretty much peeled it off, as you can see the peeling right there. But we just stuck it on, and now I'm gonna show you how to use the roller. You're just gonna push really hard and you'll see it kind of flatten out. See how it flattens out right there? That's how you know it's pushed in there really well. So that's pretty cool about Noiko, is it has that little difference in the texture, so you know how to do it. This thing's actually pretty heavy. We'll go ahead and roll this out, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side as well. So here it is all nice and done. John and I just cut up a bunch of pieces, stuck it on, and rolled it on. This is all we're gonna focus on for now. In the future, I can go ahead and do all on this side, all that back there, and everything like that. Maybe I'll do that when I'm bored, but right now we're just trying to get this bag trunk setup done. But just a quick test. That's kind of what it's looking like right now. I think that'll help with some of the compressor noise, and that way it'll just sound a little bit more luxury. Just had to go get some supplies. Sorry, it's been a while since the last clip, but we have some wood over here. This will be the basis of the floor, this piece right here. But we're moving on. I cut the wires that was connected to the compressor so that way John can basically work on the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and start stringing these wires in there. Basically gotta run this all the way to the battery, which is on the passenger side. So just gonna go ahead and start here, fish it all the way through, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I was working on the wiring. I have it ran through the car and all the way down. But what I do want to tell you guys is I removed the battery. I did remove this little cable box too. You can see where my sub line is. Let me show you guys with the light. If you see that black line right there over the silver lines, that is the current subwoofer line. We're gonna follow that down into the car just because the CJ Pony parts, they have it go through this fender hole right here, which I do not want to do. So if you see that, that looks kind of ratchet if it came out of there. I just want it to come with my subwoofer line nice and clean, and it's all inside the car. So that requires me to lift the car, take off this wheel, remove the fender liner, and then kind of route the wire through it. A little extra step, but it's gonna be done right. And that just means that this car is gonna last a little bit longer. Maybe I won't have as many headaches or something like that, but I just wanna make sure everything's done right. John's over here putting in work with the jigsaw.
Done.
That's actually a good cut right there.
It's done.
We're getting going. I took off the wheel and took off the fender liner. That little hole right here that I was pushing through on the firewall, it's up in there. It's actually pushing through right here. So as you can see, let me throw the light on. Now, as you can see, we're going up through the grommet. That's right there, that little fuzzy one. That one's where my subwoofer is. So that pink one is the remote line. I just have it going through there. The air line will come out of right here. And this is all just a factory grommet. So the air line will just kind of sit in here. But I'm gonna go ahead and run that right now, even though we won't be putting in the strut right now. But everything comes up right here, no problems. I just tape that off. That's power, ground, and remote. So yeah, now everything's coming along. Now we have the wiring up here to where it won't be out in the way and everything. It's not gonna hit the wheels. So yeah, pretty clean, and I'm okay with this. Done, now it's bagged. That's a quick update of where we're at. I have the wires kind of ran just rough right now, but along with the subwoofer line, that's that red one. But the black one right there on top is for the airlift, going right there through the firewall. You can see the grommet in the hole right there. Right under here, you can see it goes right into the firewall, that way on side, and then it comes up right here. That red line with the yellow, that's for the airlift, and this black one that's on the negative right there, I have the battery back installed. I added a fuse right there. If you're looking at an S197, 15 amp just tapped in right there. It seems like it's gonna turn on with just ignition and then turn off because you obviously don't want the airlift just draining your battery. So we're gonna see how that works. Obviously I can't test that right now, but this is what I've read online. I have it all nice and zip tied really cleanly. Going around back, John has done a really great job of making this wooden platform, basically like a giant donut. This is a rough idea of how it's gonna be all lined up. This tank will be right here with the ports facing in. Compressor roughly about right there, manifold right there. Obviously a couple little air lines back and forth. And then all the other lines coming from each corner will plug into the manifold. The whole garage is a nice big mess, so we're probably gonna have to end it right here. John has to head out, and I gotta clean up a little bit. This is a couple-day process just because we can't spend all of our time. It's only like 6 o'clock, but it is so dark outside, and I only have one crappy little indoor light. So we're gonna have to end it here. I just wanna do everything properly, so just put on the wheel, and then we'll get everything cleaned up. So this is where we're at right now. The car is pretty much like still just up in the air and everything. I have pieces out all over the place. Some pieces are inside the car. The subwoofer box is right there. But the big thing is we have the trunk. As you can see, I have some of the wiring, well, as you can't see. Even though it seems like we didn't get a lot done, we actually did. A lot of this is just kind of the prep, and we're doing something clean, kind of unique, not your run-of-the-mill install, because we totally could have mounted the tank upside down inside the trunk and ran it like everybody else. But I also just want to do everything really clean. That way it's custom. Another thing too is people want to run the wires through that little hole in the fender. I didn't want to do that, so I went through the firewall, came up the backside, and ran it all the way through here. I did mention it last time, but there is a fuse in here. I just have it tucked back behind here on the positive. You have a positive fuse, and you also have a add fuse right here. So you definitely want to make sure you have fuses in place, so that way if anything were to short, you don't damage your manifold. It's pretty late, it's pretty cold. I also just don't want to get into it and risk anything going bad. So I'm going to take my time with this. I have the car up on jack stands, everything's safe and pretty secured. I hate to do it to you guys, but I do have to stop the video right here. You guys are gonna have to tune in for part 2. This is part 1. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you learned something, then please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.